Welcome everyone to another episode of Talent You Should Know, where we focus on the entertainment industry on a different level. Not only will there be artist and actor interviews of known and unknown talent, but insight into the team behind them that helps them build their brand. Each week, we'll tackle a different person in the industry with talents in their own rights. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome everyone to another episode of Talent You Should Know with Zag. Today we have singer-songwriter Kasey Marcelle. How are you?
What's up everybody? How y'all feeling? I'm feeling great, honestly. You know, I'm in my crib, working on new music. I got my studio set up over here. Awesome. I'm just focused right now.
Yeah, like I see you work hard. Like you just constantly putting stuff out and just, staying consistent. So that's really cool.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's a race, but it's a race against the machine, you know?
Yeah.
Artists, we gotta step it up, and the machine they don't really care if you fall to the wayside. There's another artist, there's another somebody ready to step in that spot, fill it with more content. They don't really care, so it's a race against the machine for real.
Yeah. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about how you started?
Honestly, the first story I got about me singing was from my mom's. I grew up to a drug-addicted mom, so we didn't spend much time together. But one of the stories she had was that I came up to her knee as a kid, as a baby, and she thought I was going to say my first words. But I started singing a song that was on the radio, and it sounded just like the song on the radio. She was like, I knew right through he was going to do something. But, drugs, they kind of take the mind, so it just kind of threw me off course too, because, the mother's love to a child is everything. Yeah. And if you grow up without it, sometimes you might not make it,
Yeah. Well, what I think is, kind of dope about your story is that, you got into CSEC, you did, some boot camps. And the thing about CSEC is that's invitation only, right?
Yeah.
So how did that all come about?
Honestly, I did some writing for a Wu-Tang affiliated group, and this was like, for a while, I really just thought I was going to be the dopest rapper in the world. My vocals they just were personal to me. Like I love singing, so it was personal to me, but it wasn't something that I wanted to give to the world. Yeah. I just thought I was going to be the dopest rapper ever. Mm-hmm. So I used to run around with like Wu-Tang affiliated groups, and I did some writing for them. And they liked it, so they kind of brought me into the CSEC era, into the CSEC fold, which was good. The guy gave me a chance to, rub shoulders with people. So, I was all in love with Kasey. I did work with artists over there, and it's just like, awesome. It makes you feel a little seasoned,
Yeah. And for those who don't know what CSEC is, it's the Society of European Stage Authors and Composers. So, it's a really great experience if you get in. And I think it's funny what you said because about being the dopest hip hop artist, because I was going to ask you that. You have, Biggie and Fab and all these great people coming out of Brooklyn, and I'm like, I think it's kind of cool. You're a singer. And I'm like, was he ever thinking about hip hop? Was he,
Man, I'll tell you. For a while, I was running around with the do-rag and my pants was baggy, and you couldn't tell me nothing. Like, you couldn't tell me anything. I had the meanest face and the hardest bars. And then, somebody just told me, somebody pulled me to the side and was like, yo, grown up, it's not a slight, it's not a diss to you, man, but you sing way better than you ever rap.
Right.
And it hit me in the heart. It was like, ooh.
Right. You're like, okay.
And I was like, ooh. But he was like, if you, it's not even about what you want to do, but it's about what your calling is, what your life purpose is. And that right there kind of put me on course.
And it's the thing that people don't realize about your purpose. And there are things that you're passionate about, and sometimes your passion isn't your purpose, right?
Very true.
And the thing is so you might have been passionate about writing, like you said, and,
Yeah.
But your purpose is singing, not necessarily. So that's kind of dope that it came to you in a time where you were able to transition easily, you know?
Yeah. Well, honestly, it didn't happen right away because, like I said, he said it not was a slight, but it hit me in the heart. Like, ooh, what you mean? I'm the best rapper.
Right. I'm the
So
dopest MC that you've seen thus far. Right.
Yeah. So for a while, my ego just wasn't letting it happen, you know. But I would always be singing. Like, honestly, there's a lot of people who remember me. They'd be like, Kasey, you know Kasey, you be singing on the train? Yeah. That used to be me. I used to be one of those guys just because it wasn't something that I wanted to make money from, but I just wanted to share with people. And I knew that was a way that no matter how you felt, if you heard my voice, you'd be like, oh, snap, he all right. Yeah. And then you feel all right. So it was just like, I felt like that was my personal gift from God. Like, that was like, you know what? Life might not be everything you want it to be, but here, hold that down. You got a voice now. Hold that down. And
go ahead. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, do you still have any of your old rap demos, like on tape anywhere, or?
Honestly, no. I don't have any of the tapes, but I do have some of the YouTube stuff. Like, I can go to YouTube real quick and pull up some stuff, but I haven't really said anything about it because it's looking back on it now. It's just like, what were you doing? Like, it's like, what were you doing? Like, you know, but I really believe it, and so it is what it is.
Listen, you put it out there, so I respect that. So you've been in the industry a little bit. Like, have you been surprised by anything so far?
Honestly, growing up in New York doesn't leave much to surprise, but in the industry, there's some really, funny stuff going on. And is it surprising? No. Is it a little off-putting? Yes. It's a little off-putting because it's like you have to be neutral. You can't take a stance. And that right there is kind of like, just off-putting because it's like I know how I feel, but I can't say that.
Because everything's relationships. Everything is relationships.
It is. And the funny thing is, like, your relationships with a person that you need to work with might not happen, but the person that they know that heard about you through the person will happen. It's like you want to work with somebody, but it might not work out. But they'll be talking about you to somebody else. Yeah, this guy here, and I'll probably do something, but I don't know. They'll be procrastinating, but the person that's telling about you to the other person is listening, and they go, okay. And next thing you know, you get a DM or you get a hit up. Yo, my boy told me so and so and so, and I'm so and so and so. Sure, it's a weird business like that. Yeah. So relationships, and then like, I guess secondary relationships is what I like. They're even more important. Like, exactly, you gotta be mindful of the people who are around the people you want to work with, because sometimes they plug you. Yeah, and it's like I've interviewed people like in different walks, whether it's like attorneys or like producers and that kind of stuff. And the one thing that is so important to me about this platform is like I focus on what they've done, what they're trying to, like, I don't care about the gossip. I don't care about anything negative. Like, to me, whoever I'm interviewing, I believe in, I'm a fan of theirs and that kind of stuff. Like, we're not doing all this. Well, I heard, I'm not doing that. So I want to get a little bit into your music, but I noticed like you had a single 2016 that did really, really well. Okay. What's we talking about here?
Let's chill.
Oh, let's chill.
And then, but you took a hiatus after that. Like, you kind of like, back a little. What was it about?
I don't see. This is one of those times where you don't know how neutral of a position you could take. But now I always keep it tall. I got locked up.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I had this some time or whatever, and while doing the time, it really hit me like, yo, you're playing yourself. Like, and I have a real checks with myself. Like, the money aside, the money you get on the streets is cool, but you're playing yourself.
Right.
Because that life purpose thing we talking about. Mm-hmm. I firmly believe that if you die with that purpose and that passion in you, that becomes your hell. that's the hell that you live in, because you gotta live with you. There's no death. There's no death. No one ever really dies. So it's like, even after you transition from here, you're still aware.
Yeah.
And you become aware of all of the things that happened while you were here.
Yeah.
And then that becomes your hell.
Wow.
Or you had this great gift, you had this great talent, you had this great passion, and you did nothing with it. That's hell to me anyway.
Yeah.
So that was my reality check. Like, if you playing yourself, bro, if you don't do something, then I don't want to hear it. Like, I check myself, you know, and that's what it was.
That's dope. That's wow. The fact that you said that was dope. So let's talk about your EP, because when I tell you I'm a fan, like, I'm an actual fan. Like, first of all, Do You was absolutely beautiful. And I said it was a bit of a departure from the sexier vibe that you express. You know, like, do you want to work it out? Can we just talk? And you did these, there were certain things you said in there that it's like, yo, was he listening in? You know, like when you said, this ain't what love feels like. And I'm like, oh, I've said that, Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, Do You had so much passion in it because I was going through a passionate situation with somebody. Yeah. And although the song wasn't about them, while I was recording, it just made it feel more like, like just present, because it was like, this person is really evoking this emotion at the song that had nothing to do with them is now suddenly almost about them. Yeah. And that's what made it so like heartfelt for me. But yeah, that was a dope. I work with a songwriter named Harmony, and when I get with him, like, we sit down together and we like, yo, what do you want to talk about? And I'll tell him, and he'll come up with a riff, or I'll come up with something, and I'll feed him back something, and we just kind of bounce back and forth, and then we get a finished product. So like that song was scary, because it was like, wow. Yeah. How did we just peg that whole emotion right there? Yeah. Yeah, it was one of my favorites on that EP. And what's interesting is what you said right there. I was going to ask you that later, but let's just talk about it now. It's always funny to me when people say, oh, well, that rapper has a ghostwriter. They didn't write that rap. It's like, but they're mad songwriters, that collaborate. So I get that hip hop is personal, and I'm like, but yeah, it's the same thing. People need to get off their high horse. I don't like backseat critics. Yeah. People with a lesser talent criticizing someone else with a greater talent. Right. I don't like that. Right. Me personally. Yeah. I don't like attacking a generational attack. Oh, you young guys messing up rap. Oh, I don't like that. Yeah. The divisions, the separations, and all of that. Oh, you don't write your own raps. Only the ghostwriters can go over here. Only people who write their own songs. What are you doing? Yeah. Like, are you serious? Yeah. How many actors are there? You think actors write their own scripts? Like, what are we doing? Right. What are we really? I understand the originality of it, but what people don't understand is that getting behind that microphone makes that song yours. Exactly. Because you have to perform that song. It's not enough to just say those lyrics. Yeah. When Drake made a good point about his song, about his ghostwriter, Quentin could say the same song and it wouldn't be a Drake song. It wouldn't. It's only a Drake song because Drake performed it. Yeah. He didn't just say the lyrics, he performs them. And if you're a recording artist, you understand that. Yeah. You understand that two people can say the same thing and it sound completely different. Exactly. And Cardi B said that same thing. She was bringing her ghostwriter up on stage with her. You know what I mean? And I respected her so much for that. I was like, she's like, or she'll tell people, you can write for me. No cap. He's dope. I remember he did a show, Partisan Fontaine, you talking about? Yeah. He did a show, and he did a show with Fab, and I was backstage, and I'm watching him come. I'm like, yo, nah, he gonna come up. This was 2016, 2015. I'm like, yo, nah, boy, nice. He gonna come up. Literally, they come around, he her ghostwriter. That should happen. Yeah. That's what's supposed to happen. Listen. I feel sad for people who think the other way. Yeah. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about that too. Yeah, no, if you think the other way, you're stuck. Yeah. You'll be stuck. Because there's somebody out there whose talent and life's purpose is only to write lyrics. They don't sing, They don't perform or record. Their purpose is to only write lyrics.
Yeah.
And there's somebody else out there whose only purpose is to sing. They don't write lyrics, and they go together.
Absolutely.
And that's how it goes.
Absolutely. So back to the music. Hit My Line. Like, I will literally dance into the shower to that shit. I like, that like you're still cocky in the song a little bit, like you have that, but you're also like giving her props. I think that's a really great balance that you did there.
Yeah, I Hit My Line. I really, really wanted to have the most fun in the studio as possible. Like, I created this big vibe in the studio. We invited a bunch of people, a bunch of girls, and we was in the 50s in Flatbush, but we just turned it into like a whole vibe, just so I could feel it. Just because that song is popular, like it's like it's energetic, it's electric. You feel that. It's like, yo, what's he talking about? Then the content in the song is like, you know what? That's spring break. Yeah, it's like spring break. It's like, this is what we want.
Just hit my line when you get lonely.
Like I really live like that, and it's hard to like scale it back.
Yeah,
people be like, "Ooh, you a guy." I be like, "Chill."
Right. Calm down. Right.
yeah. But
Yeah. So then you had You Belong. That's the other one. The lyrically, like, how many times I'm gonna tell you that? I don't think I'm ever take it back. That was such an important line, because so many people, like, to me, I feel like when you like really love someone, that shit doesn't go away. It's just, it changes. And so I thought that was such an important line. And you also said, I always feel like I'm new with you. I was like, if this dude, it was just a beautiful, the way you sang it was beautiful. So
the funny thing about that, though, I'm going through that right now.
Wow.
I'm going through that right now in a situation where the relationship is dead. It's dying because it won't renew. The person won't renew their feeling. Yeah. You have to constantly reinvent yourself in a relationship.
Yeah.
Constant. It's not, people have this ego where it's like, oh, well, if you love me, you should take me as I am, and I shouldn't have to do anything for you. That's not true.
No, we're growing together. We're pouring into each other. We're up here like elevating on a consistent level. Like, I can't, like, you saying I want to stay stuck doesn't make any sense to me. Especially not the person that you are, honestly. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Making yourself a new person in a relationship is a necessity. Like, you got to do that. And it's not just for the other person. It's also for you.
For you.
Because who wants to stay the same all the time?
Yeah. Listen, not me. I legitimately, the other day, because just like, it's a little personal, but I realized, and it was maybe a month ago, that I was scared to be happy. I was scared to say that I was happy, like, acknowledge that shit, because I was so used to being sad over the breakup, and it was like a year ago. And I was like, Zag, you know that you're fine, right? You know that you're fine. And it's one of those things, like, we have to say to ourselves, like, don't be afraid to move on and to be who you're supposed to be, right? And then whoever else comes into your life is the person that'll magnify that.
Right. Yo, it's crazy. I'm one of those real synchronicity people, and I was thinking about what you just said this morning. So I jog a lot. So during my jog this morning, I had this whole at least 3-minute long thought about allowing myself to be okay.
Sir.
And saying, like, yo, it's a problem when I don't have a problem. Because if I don't have nothing to worry about, well, then that means something's going to happen, because things are going good. And if things are going good, that means something's going to happen. So if I don't have nothing to worry about, that's a problem. And then I had to check myself, like, do you hear yourself? Are you listening to what you're saying? You need something to worry about, because if you got something to worry about, then, well, okay, I got something to worry about, then I can just fix that and I'll be okay. No, you're crazy, bro. Let yourself be okay. Let yourself be fine. Yeah. Just let it happen. Just let yourself be fine. And by the time I finished my job, I was smiling from ear to ear, like, wow, I had to talk myself through letting myself be okay. So I know that's a real thing that you just said. And that's what makes songs so interpersonal. Like, you can feel them because we both experience that same thing.
Yeah. It's dope.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool is that, like, I remember, I think you said in the article that you stopped being concerned about radio acceptance, you know, as long as you influence people to live out their dreams. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I thought, how did you come with that? Like,
no, because everything, like, even on the Let's Chill, everything I was doing before that I was only thinking about radio. I was like, I made a song. It was a joint. I released a single called Black White Freak. Yeah. And my only thing was, this song sounds just like what's on the radio. It's gonna get on the radio. C100, this one, that one. It's a radio ready song. The radio's gonna play it. The radio played it, and it was just like, oh yeah, great. This is where it belongs. And it was like, but is that where you belong? Right. Is that what you want to do? So in order to get where you had to go, you had to kind of water down what you wanted to do. You had to make it, you know, make a recipe, no less, but it's not what you are made of. Yeah. It's just something that you put together to put out. Yeah. Is that what you want to do? Is that what you want to do? And I had to, I'm not, you know, but I really have these in-depth conversations and reality checks with myself, because it's like,
I get it.
I grew up without a mom, without a father. I don't have siblings like that. So I'm really like a loner. And I gotta check me. So I had to check myself and say, is that what you wanted to do? And it wasn't. So I see people every day that they want to do something, but they don't have it, or they just need like a push or a kick. And for me, it's like, I have it, because if I don't have it, I won't get it from nowhere else. Yeah. So it's like it's a safety mechanism for me. Mm-hmm. And I look at people who just need that motivation, and I'll be like, man, bro, maybe if you just see me doing it, then you'll do it too. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I give my music now. It's like, yo, maybe if you see me doing, you see me living out my dreams, you see how I'm living. Yeah. And I'm not taking no shorts from nowhere at all. If you see me doing that, maybe you'll be like, yo, man, well, if he did it, good shit. Let me do it too. Yep. That's why, like. No, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I was saying that's why I do like the behind the scenes on my thing, because, you know, I just kind of started a podcast because I love music and acting, and I love seeing people win, and I want to, like, you know, expose that. But every week I'm sitting there like, I'm trying to figure out how to make a post. Like, you will see it all. Like, if I can sit there and, you know, make a video and use Canva and all this other stuff, you can do it too. You can live out your dreams. Like, just keep going. I feel like people just need to see an example, or they need to see somebody doing what they want to do, and then that'll force them. That'll either force them to not want what they say they want as much, or to start going after it. Right. Because you just can't sit. Once you know something, you can't sit in that same space anymore. Exactly. Now you know. Now you have to do something about it. You either, you know, say, I don't even want it like that no more, or I want that, I'm gonna go get it, and this person just showed me the way. Exactly. But you just can't sit there anymore. And that's what my whole motive, my whole goal, everything is about. Watch me do it. Yeah. Watch me. Just watch me. If whatever happens, however high I go, however far I fall, I did it. I did it my way. And that's my whole thing. I did it my way. So from when you first started, how do you think that your brand has changed? From when I first started to now, I think my brand honestly, people look at, because I didn't start with Pentagram Music Group, and now people look at Pentagram Music Group with confusion. So my brand is kind of now, it's mystified. And that's cool. I like that. There's a mystique around the whole Kasey Marcelle experience. People have no clue about how I do, what I do, where I get from, how I'm living. People have no clue. They just see it, and it's like, yo, who is this guy? What does he do? Like, you know, I know he's an artist, but not all artists have that level of exposure, but with that level of, I don't know how you say that word correctly. anonymity or just being on a low key pretty much.
Right.
So I'm like a popular nobody. You know, people who see my posts, they see my Instagram, they see my music, they see my title, they know it. But then when you get to, who is this guy? You know nothing about him. I like that.
Yeah. And I think that's also something about, you know, I'm not taking away from anywhere else, but, you know, I'm from, you know, Jersey. Just being from the East Coast in general, it's like naturally, you know, there's that trait of just hustling and then, you know, you showing people versus, you know, telling people, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's something that's kind of in you. I don't know that you developed that. I think it's just how you know, what you're surrounded by, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's the funny thing is like, I feel like it's like two spots and one in each borough pretty much. But Newark, Jersey, Brooklyn, New York, I feel like they produce like the toughest hustlers, like the grittiest minds. They don't necessarily have to be the most violent or the most ruthless, but the mindset of, you know what? I am going to take what I want from this world and there's nothing that's going to stop me.
Exactly.
I feel like those areas, that's what they call those ghettos, they produce those mindsets.
Yeah.
And I just got lucky. You know what I mean? I feel like I just got lucky. Word.
Well, you know, I think that's the perfect segue to Trillionaire. And I think it's so dope because I've always said, even in the music industry, nothing's guaranteed, and you have to make sure that you are diverse in the things that you invest in, and I'm including yourself in that, right? And so the best way to invest in yourself is knowledge, right? And I think it's super dope, like that you did this book. You know, I know you say it's a beginner's guide to generating wealth with Bitcoin and other digital assets. So tell me how you decided, hey, I'm going to write this book and educate people.
It's funny that you're right. That is a perfect segue because hustlers, right? People, not just quote unquote drug dealers, hustlers with a hustler mindset. Once we see a profit in something that we don't see nowhere else, we get all the way in that shit. We get to the nitty-gritty of what makes that thing work. Hold up. So what happened was in 2015, I had bought a guide off the internet and it told me about alternate cryptocurrencies. And I knew about Bitcoin a little bit, but I didn't really know what it was about. But I read the guide and I followed it. It sent me to like a website where an exchange, a platform, and there were other currencies. I made a purchase of a altcoin called Zcoin. I spent like $300. I purchased a cryptocurrency.
Right.
This was in the beginning of 2017, I'm sorry. At the end of 2017, when Bitcoin went to 20,000, that cryptocurrency also went up. My $300 investment turned into $7,800.
Right.
That never happened to me before, nowhere ever. And like I said, like we both agree, that mindset kicked in. What? Yeah. 300, 7,800 in less than a year? Nah, what is this? And so I put everything on pause for like maybe 3 or 4 months and just put my whole brain into what's going on. And what I found out is it's a lot more than what's in that book, but what I found out came out in that book. The funny thing about it is, this is where we're at. This is the tip of the tip. We haven't even scraped the surface yet.
I'm so patient too. I'm so patient. Like I just sit and like I look at it every so often, and then sometimes I was like, "Oh shoot, let me go."
You got to think, and so most high yields, they're 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
you don't look at them within a year. 3 to 5 years, you pay them attention. So now 25 to 2027, right? Let's say 5 to 7 years. Let's give it a little. If we're looking from last year to this year, you're looking at that type of return. What do you think you're going to be looking at in 7 years?
That's insane. Insane.
But the funny thing about what's happening though, it's like it's weird, and I couldn't put it all in the book. I couldn't make it too much because then it would discourage people from reading it, and I couldn't make it too little because then it'd be like a pamphlet. So
get the book.
I'm really just hoping people grab it and get into it. But
yes,
what's happening on the macroeconomic scale is scary. It's really scary.
Yeah.
Because the world governments, the entire countries are saying, you know what? I'm gonna put all my money on crypto.
Yep.
That's scary.
So what are your thoughts on NFTs in the music business? Because that's something I think could be super valuable.
I mean, honestly, I can't say my team because I am my team, but that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going at with all my music. From 21 on, that's where the first, at least, my music will be NFTs first. Mm-hmm. And then we can, if it grows the way I want it to, then, Apple and all those other places. But I'm tired of them. Tired of them right now. I can say personally, Pentagram Music Group and before Pentagram Music Group, just in the Kasey Marcelle business, I can say personally, at least $500,000, at least. Nice. And that's not exaggeration. That's no exaggeration. I'm talking like because every time you hear a song on the radio, it costs somebody some money. So, and we should just put that out there. We should just call a spade a spade. A lot of these World Star posts, they cost somebody some money. A lot of these blog posts cost somebody some money. You are one of the only people that are doing for the love interviews. I want to give you some money just because you asked me. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Yeah. Because there is nothing that is happening for an artist today without a buck. Yeah. Nothing. Not an Instagram post. Yeah. Nothing is happening for an artist today without a buck. And that needs to get put to a stop. And it's starting with these big. I'm sorry, I talk too much.
No, go ahead.
That just needs to stop. Starting with these big companies, these Apple Musics, because they don't. These Spotify's. Artists don't get paid like that. You don't get paid off for them unless you're a big name artist. They cut you a check. But if you're a regular local artist, you don't get no money from Spotify. So,
What I will tell you is that, like I said, every person that's on this show, I'm a fan of, or I am really interested in, what they're doing. Like, I think Friday I'm talking with someone about mental health in the music industry and acting and that kind of stuff. I think the only thing I really charge for is if someone asks me to write an article about them or something like that. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. But in general, I'm like, listen, I will advertise you. I will promote you. I will promote this because I understand, first of all, everyone's, coming up and trying to do the best they can. And two, I feel like, I like that energy around me where I'm giving,
Yeah. But that comes back. So people never forget how you make them feel, right? Yeah. So when I get those emails and those DMs from people that I've paid before, I don't forget that. Yeah. I paid you before, so our relationship is that. You can't say, yo, could you do this for me? I paid you already. Get out of here.
Yeah. Scram.
Our relationship now is like, nah, bro. She did an interview. We do interviews. Because you establish I don't forget that I paid you. I don't forget that I didn't pay you. That's basically what I'm saying. Like people, because this game is so sour now. I can show you my DM and it's at least like 75. Yo, you want to advertise? $25 per post. This per post. $35 for a permanent. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. I mean, everybody got to eat.
So tell me what's next for you. What's next? What's going on?
Next for me right now, I'm working on my album, Live on Live. I'm not even hesitating anymore. I was thinking, just keep dropping singles and single this and single that. I'm working on my album right now. I'm setting up. I'm going to invite you real quick. I'm going to give you a swivel real quick. Ooh. So I set up my home studio.
All right.
I'm working with an MPK Mini right now. My MacBook, I got 2 roll kits. I got my mic set up. Right now, as we speak, I'm working on my album. I'm not even playing no more.
Yeah.
I've titled it "Good Guy with a Bad Guy with a Good Heart," and that's really describes me. Yeah. Everybody who knows me just knows like I'm a little off, but you got a good heart, okay? That's how everybody's. It's like you got a good heart, okay? Yeah. That's what everybody says about me. Like, you got a good heart. It's like, yo, you probably a piece of shit, okay? But you got a good heart. I don't know how that works. Honestly, I don't know how that works. Right. Me personally, I don't know how it works, but it does. The people that love me, they love me for it. And so That's what I titled the album. Bad Guy with a Good Heart. And I'm working on that right now.
That is so awesome. I'm so thankful. Thank you for coming on my show. I really.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I definitely wanted to go on the roof. Yo, she's the dopest. Because the conversation flow, like, you allow me to be a little bit talkative because I ramble a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just one of those people with so much to say. So, and a lot of like interviewers, they want this is my show. Like that ego thing. This is my show. I gotta have the control of the conversation. They cut you off, and you don't get to express yourself. And then you get to leave half sentences, and people kind of misconstrue what you said.
Yeah,
I don't like that. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you just kind of letting me go.
Thank you. So what I want is for you to tell everyone where they can find you and follow you and all that good stuff.
Oh, definitely. So you can definitely log on to the I Am Kasey Marcelle website, www.iamkaseymarcelle.com. That website is up now and is being constructed on another channel. So even though the one that's up is there, I'm going to revamp it and reconstruct it, put something else in its place. Hit my Instagram, I Am Kasey Marcelle. My YouTube, the same. I logged all my channels. Everything is the same. So that way, once you know that name, I Am Kasey Marcelle, you can find me anywhere. Twitch, anywhere, Vimeo, YouTube. I'm pretty much everywhere. I locked down all the channels. My TikTok kind of growing. You know, I did a funny TikTok the other day. I'm learning TikTok.
There we go.
I got a Triller. You can find me on Triller. I Am Kasey Marcelle.
Yeah.
I need a piece of that Versus money. I see Versus, just kind of check the Triller. I need a piece of that. My mind is everywhere. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But you gotta be like that.
Yeah.
Not even just an artist. As an entrepreneur, you gotta be like that. So hit my Triller, hit my TikTok, hit my everything. I got it. I Am Kasey Marcelle. Word.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it.
Yo, I'm so thankful that you think that I'm talented. You should know. Because if you think that, then that means there's people out there that believe it. And that's just inspiration from me.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Talent You Should Know. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well as leave a review. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.